Hello and welcome to the Marlen Textiles Architect Series. My name's Joe Mason and I'm your host today. And today we are joined by Alan Preletsky, Vice President of Marlen Textiles. Alan, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Joe.
Alan, I'm lucky enough to have been to the manufacturing facility many times, and it's really a beautiful facility, if I can say that.
Yeah, well, we've been actually in our facility since 1951, right on the Missouri River. In a town called New Haven, which is about an hour west of St. Louis. It's one of the longest continuing operating coating plants in America.
So it's kind of nice because you have the ability to spread out over a large piece of land, and at the same time, you're close to a major metropolitan city.
Correct.
Alan, tell me a little bit about the plant itself and what kind of capabilities the plant has.
We've got multiple coating lines, multiple laminating lines. We've got a full quality control department, so every time we run, we actually do quality control. Full development lab staffed by 3 degree chemists. We actually inspect every square inch of fabric that leaves our facility. We do all our own mixing. We do all our own inspection, as I said, and we also can do custom coating and laminating.
And I know that as an interviewer, I'm not a professional in the field, but the many times that I've been down to the plant, I must say it's always meticulous, clean, neat, and it seems like that is the way it is all the time.
Yeah, we take pride in having a nice work environment and spending the extra effort to make sure that the plant is clean and hope that that attitude conveys out in the product we make.
Now, today's show is primarily focusing on the awning industry, but you serve many other industries as well, correct?
That is correct. Marine is a big chunk of what we do, meaning a lot of our fabric ends up in the marine industry, but really anywhere outdoor textiles are needed, so tent, cots, golf carts, RVs. We also have a couple of unique places where we sell our product in, and that's glove cuffing and indoor air ducts.
Alan, one of the biggest things that I notice about Marlen is that everything is made in the USA. How did you get to that point?
It was a long process, Joe. We actually, over about 5 years ago, were importing a few finished products and some raw materials, and we made a decision that we wanted to bring all that in-house for a variety of reasons. It was a little more expensive for us, but at the end, the cost for us overall actually went down because we were better able to control production. We're very proud of being Berry Amendment compliant, and we'll continue to do that for the foreseeable future.
So not only is your output really great, but you have a good distribution network as well?
We do. We have a wide distribution network, especially in North America, so we can get product anywhere. And one of the nice things is, and you've been to the plant and you've seen the large inventory we have, so we're able to have a lot of goods in stock and ready to ship at a moment's notice. So anybody who needs our product can get it pretty much at any time.
And even though that most people use product off the shelf, you still have the capabilities and you do custom products.
We do custom work. That is correct. A lot of people recognize us for being good coaters and laminators, and they come to us to have us make their product for them.
Alan, tell me a little bit about an overview of your product line.
Yeah, one of the things that differentiates us from pretty much every other competitor in the marketplace is we have a really broad and deep product offering. So we're not trying to force one particular fabric into your application because it's the only fabric we make. We can service pretty much any application there is because we make, again, a very wide offering of products.
And your products, generally speaking, are pretty easy to work with, correct?
Very easy to work with. They can be sewn, welded, graphics applied. We get feedback all the time. Fabricators love working with our products.
Alan, let's drill down a little bit about some of the Marlen Textiles product offerings and the specific characteristics that they have.
One of the things that we feel is a lot of people are just interested in a brand name, and they really don't focus on what should be important to them. And that's the performance of the fabric. How's it going to perform? When if the fabric's up in an awning, nobody really knows from 20 feet away what brand that fabric is. They just want to know, is it going to sag? Is it going to withstand wind whip? Is it going to not leak? they're looking for what we think these factors is what really people are looking for.
What the fade resistance is.
Correct.
Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And for people who are looking for a way that really helps them decide which fabrics are correct for their particular need, this particular chart would help them a lot?
Yeah, we came up with this fabric finder, which we thought was an easy way to take our fabrics, in this regard specifically for the awning industry, and match them up with those factors that, again, should be important to the user for the application. And it's easy on your eyes to go down and pick and see which fabrics you should be focusing on, again, for which factors are important to you.
And I'm very interested in this next chart. So if we can, we'll take a look at this. It was about a year ago, and I was doing some research about various manufacturers of fabric for the awning industry in particular. And I could not, for the life of me, find technical specs for some of the bigger competitors. I was just flabbergasted. But here it is. Here are all your specs out here for everybody to see in great detail. Why is that?
Well, we proudly publish our technical specifications because we're proud of the fabrics we make. We continuously test our specs. As we mentioned earlier, quality control is big for us. So every production run, we test it to make sure it's meeting our minimum specifications. And you're right, we're a little unusual in the marketplace in that if you want data about our fabrics, it's easy to find. This chart's actually on our website, very easy to find. Our salespeople are happy to send it to anybody who asks.
And you're not going to expect me to be able to recount this verbatim, will you? Like, no, that won't be a test, right?
We actually have our lab manager could tell you every number on this chart from memory.
Okay. And now let's get a little bit into the overview of specific fabrics that you would recommend for the awning market.
We have 6 fabrics we've identified to be used in the awning market, and we've put those up here on this slide. And they show whether they're flame retardant or not, shows the weight, the warranty, and whether it's a solution dyed fabric or coated fabric. So again, this is a very broad overview of the 6 fabrics that we've identified for the awning market.
Alan, explain to me some of the benefits that your solution dyed fabrics have over the competitors.
Yeah, well, there's really 3 main differences between our fabrics and most of the acrylics that are on the market. We've got better abrasion resistance, better tear strength, and better dimensional stability. So what that means is it won't stretch or sag as fast. It won't. You won't get a hole to appear when the fabric rubs on the frame. If a tear does appear, it won't spread as easy, and we weather better. So our fabric will last longer and will stay more water resistant longer.
Now, I like this because we're really getting to the heart of the matter. Price versus value, especially for non-FR products. Explain this to us a little, would you, Alan?
Yeah, well, nobody wants to pay more than they need to and then get less than they thought. So this chart does a really good job identifying the price versus the performance. And so you want to be below the line, which means you're paying the least amount for the most performance. So you can see a lot of the other competitors, all of the other competitors are above that line, and our 2 solution dyed non-FR fabrics are below the line.
That's great. And now let's talk about the FR products.
Yeah, so we have 4 products that have flame retardant specifications, and they're quite frankly just better. No flaming drips. We'll show you a video in a little bit that shows that. Wide range of weights. So if you're looking for a specific weight fabric, we have it. We have both solution dyed and coated. So whichever characteristic you prefer, we have it. And as a slide coming up will show, again, it outperforms the competition when you compare cost to value.
And in another characteristically Marlen Textiles way, very open, very honest, here are your FR specifications.
Correct. So the up top is the main flame retardant specifications that are well known. California State Fire Marshal is the one on the left. FAA, FAR is a aviation spec. The CAN ULC is Canadian. So you can see all of our fabrics meet most, with Odyssey FR being the only one that does not meet California State Fire Marshal.
And we were there for this particular video test. It was fascinating. Explain a little bit about what they're going to see.
Yeah, so this is what's called a stairwell test, and it's actually because a lot of the fire marshals throughout the country, and especially in California, will actually take a piece of fabric into the stairwell in the back of the building and see if they can get it to burn. So you're looking here at our product compared to a known competitor, and you can see how much better it performs.
And here's another graph. Now, this one, talking about price versus value, is for your FR products.
Yeah, as we mentioned a few slides ago, this is that chart where you want to be, again, below the line, which means you're paying less for more value than being above the line, which is where you're paying more for less value.
When you first formulated this, I was really, really amazed that top notch down at the bottom there is 54,000 plus. That is just an amazing statistic to be able to handle a snow load like that.
Yeah, so if you see in the slide, it talks about the largest snow load required is 300 pounds per square feet, and we're 100 times that in most of our fabrics. So unless you're building an awning in Siberia, we've got you covered.
So there you go. There's the challenge, architects. For those of you up in Siberia or way up at the Arctic Circle, please send us a photo of your top-notch awning supporting 500 feet of snow. Thank you. Alan, the Marlen products hold up very well to being welded. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so welding is becoming more and more popular in the awning industry, and we spent some time with Miller Weldmaster, which is one of the more well-known and larger welding equipment manufacturers. And we spent 2 days there testing pretty much every fabric we make with all of their technology. So this chart gives settings for welding on all the different technologies, both with tape and without tape. So you can see there are a few iterations that don't work, but most of them do work and they work well. And this should be a good guide for any fabricator that is interested in welding our material.
Alan, it's time for another video. This one is a test. We'll go ahead and explain it.
Yeah, so this is our top-notch 9 material being welded on a Miller T300 hot air machine without tape, and you can see how quickly it works and how easy it is to work with.
So now that we've worked through some of the product's characteristics and strengths and benefits, we're getting toward the end of the process, and usually that means what kind of graphics will be applied.
Yeah, most people are going to want a graphic of some kind applied to their awning to identify whether it's a business or a restaurant, whatever it might be. So what you see here are the 6 main processes that most people use to apply graphics.
And now, in relation to those processes to apply graphics, here is a nice chart for your actual products, right?
Yeah, so we've taken that previous slide and then matched it up with our fabrics to show you which processes work with which fabrics. You can see there are a few fabrics that don't want to accept certain processes, but most fabrics will accept most processes or all processes.
And most importantly, that you know what will work and what won't work, and you can really spec out a project properly.
Correct. And the next slide actually will show specifics of each process and what works best.
So, Alan, in terms of applying graphics, what do you think is the most popular? What do most fabricators wind up doing?
The larger the fabricator, the more they're going to do a heat transfer. The smaller the fabricator, they're more likely going to paint. Some of that has to do with cost. The heat transfer machine is not inexpensive, and so the smaller fabricators aren't going to invest in that technology. So this is a slide that talks about, we'll call it tips, if you're going to use a certain technology with our fabrics. And this was from a large awning fabricator that helped test all of our materials.
Well, we hope you found the information that we presented today very helpful. If you have any more questions, of course, you can contact Alan directly or somebody at Marlen Textiles. Alan, thank you for coming in today. And if they have more questions, who should they contact?
Joe, well, thanks for having me. The first call would probably be to our plant, and they can direct you to the right person, but we've also listed our 4 regional sales reps who are happy to answer any questions you have, either via phone call or an email.
That's Alan Proletsky, Vice President of Marlen Textiles. I'm Joe Mason. Thanks for watching today on behalf of Marlen Textiles.
Thank you.